Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, I'm Dan Morati, along with
WWE Hall of Famer, the Godfather.
Now, I don't want to get D-Lo jealous, but we've been having a lot of fun.
Okay, D-Lo's not fun?
He is fun, but we don't want to, we don't want to hurt his feelings.
We're
He's a
good
Vegas
friends.
guy now.
We're good friends. He'll be all right.
We love D-Lo, we love the Godfather too, and we love you guys because you're here for a brand new episode of Wrestling Insider Special Edition. Now.
Wrestling fans, the winter heats up with the return of the Berzerker John Nord. The WWE legend will be back for Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings beginning Sunday, February the 20th. Check out Boston Wrestling's exclusive print that the Berzerker will sign for you live on air. Get ready for 3 big days of the Berzerker John Nord. Head on over to bostonwrestling.com for complete information. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now. The Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest celebration, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Meet WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, the Wild Berzerker, Dangerous Danny Davis, and more 80s icons to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session, a VIP exclusive 80s Legends group photo, an autograph photo fan fest open to all before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up the ring like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Relive your childhood. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. We'll see you live April the 16th.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans, welcome to another Wrestling Insider. It's Dan Morati along with the Godfather. We're several episodes in now with him. We've been talking about his great background in this industry long before he became Papa Shango. Now we're learning more about his time in that organization in 1992. The people he met, the people he interacted with. Sometimes someone you just shake hands with and say hello in the locker room. Others you spend time with on the road. A little bit of everything. We mentioned the return of Kamala to the TV tapings, as WWF was, with all the departures, almost desperate to try and find some big guys that look like superstars they can put on TV. What about a former WWF Tag Team Champion when he was in Demolition? Came back with a whole new look, very neonish, and he also developed, for some reason, a Hawaiian accent. The man known as Crush.
Well, he was from Kona, wasn't he?
Where he was born?
Yes.
He may have been.
I'm almost positive he was from Kona, Hawaii.
They would announce him from there, I know that.
I'm almost positive because
he was a Hawaiian.
We did a charity thing there for him in Kona one time, and I could be wrong. Good guy. He was part of BSK. Good guy, good friend, good talent, good guy to be around, strong, smart, good worker, good all-around guy. I knew him very well.
I think they made it kind of goofy at first when all of a sudden those that just saw him in Demolition a year before, all of a sudden, hi, my name is Crush and I like to crush things.
Well,
and then a year before he was this ultra dangerous kick-ass guy in Demolition, and now he's this happy-go-lucky Hawaiian crushing coconuts with an accent. I don't know.
We do.
I wouldn't have used the accent.
I'm sure he didn't write it, he didn't plan it, but I was a voodoo man, then a ultimate fighter to a militant to a pimp to. So I mean,
I love how you just transcribed that.
They try different things.
Yeah.
Most of them don't work. Some of them are silly, some of them aren't.
Well, he eventually got over it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Once they got rid of the accent, I think that helped a little bit. I think it was almost like I don't know how much you've kept up with the product over the past 10 years, but when they would do that, Kofi used to wrestle for us, and when they had him doing that Jamaican accent when he first started, it was like,
oh boy.
I mean, he was
whose idea was that?
He was born in West Africa, and he lived in Boston for 90% of his childhood. So it was like, but whatever,
It is a work. It is a work.
That was the gimmick. That was the gimmick. He did it as well as he could.
That's all you could ask. It might work. It might not.
We talk about big guys that they tried to bring in that they thought could be superstars. A man that was kind of well known from the AWA, working for the Ganyas in Minnesota. Badass, from what I'm told in real life. I really never had a chance to meet him, and he's kind of fallen off the grid. For whatever reason, he doesn't want anything to do with our great sport at this point. But Kevin Kelly comes in as Nailz, the former inmate that the big boss man was a little rough with. So what a better way to get revenge on the prison guard that abused you, but get into the world of professional wrestling in the same outfit you wore in jail to get that revenge. Any memories of a unique personality, I'm told?
Most of my time spent with him was at the building. He was cool. He hung out at night. As I understand, a pretty tough guy.
Yeah,
I was there the night that him and Vince got into it. That's the night that I got thrown to the wolves after that. I don't know, something happened with that. I just, with Sid and him and something, I think Sid might have left around the same time.
Sid was gone in April, and that issue with Vince, where he got jumped out by Nailz, was December.
Yeah, I don't remember all that, but who was he working with? Who was Nailz working with when that happened?
They were setting up when they planted the seeds for it was a hot program. He just finished with Boss Man.
Yeah, but
a hot program with Taker.
Okay, yeah, then I'm wrong there, but I didn't know much about him. He was a cool dude.
You didn't, yeah.
But I was there when that happened.
I want to get there once we get to December. Don't worry.
I didn't see what happened, but I was there.
Well, I know everybody that if they were in the same city had some kind of version of that. But I thought it was really cool with him. Where they went with Papa to great lengths to try and make him unique and different.
How they made Nailz' voice talk with the video enhancements, Boss Man.
I thought that was really cool and kind of creepy the way they went about doing that because, as you know, with his voice, as badass as he may have been, he had that nice Minnesota sounding voice in real life. The voice itself wouldn't put a lot of fear in you. You know what I mean? Other than going the route of maybe giving him a manager and not having him talk at all.
He didn't have a manager, did he?
No, he didn't. But that's what I'm saying. That would be the only other way I think you could salvage it. It was funny. They you know how many promos you guys would have to shoot the days of TV tapings. But for one of the Boston Garden House shows, they had a Nailz promo. I think it was when him and Boss Man worked in a cage. But for whatever the reason, they forgot to do the sound sweetener. So it was his regular voice. Boss Man, I'm coming to Boston November the 6th, and you're in the cage. And I'm like,
and they let it play?
They
didn't edit it?
They screwed it up.
Oh, wow.
Whoever sent out they would bicycle those tapes. But whoever sent it out, they sent it out without adding the sound sweetener to it. I thought it was kind of funny, but what are you going to do? Superstars of Wrestling, May 16th. May was an important month when it came to May sweeps and those television ratings. It was a rare time to see the Ultimate Warrior on television in a competitive match, taking on Brian Knobbs and the Nasty Boys one-on-one. And you happened to make your way out to the ring, and not to take it the wrong way, where the man has worked in gentlemen's clubs, like he was trying to, make sure someone's panties were picked up, but you got a piece of the Ultimate Warrior's garment, and then you returned, and you'd think it was the end of the man. He grabbed his chest, he collapsed. All of the Lanza, Garea, Patterson, They ran for the Warrior for dear life. What is wrong with this man? They finally got him to the locker room. He was throwing up all over the place. Your memories of a crazy, still well-remembered angle 29 years later.
Yeah. People, to this day, I was a kid. They either loved Papa Shango or they hated him, but you scared everybody. And they all remember, you made the ultimate your puke or put the black ooze. I'm like, I put a root on him. That's why I got a possession of his and I put a spell on him. That was good. You know what? For what it was creative, if nothing
Creative
else.
and very memorable.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't your cup of, if you were a diehard wrestling fan back then, maybe it wasn't your cup of tea, and I can understand that point of view. Is again, 7th or 8th grade, couldn't get enough of it. How did you do I can understand the vomiting and the nasty boy Brian Dodd match, but how did the ooze come to be when Mean Gene was interviewing him?
They, those are secrets that I'd have to kill you if I tell you.
Really?
But they were just rigged up through Richie. His name was Richie with.
He could do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all you need to tell me.
Richie, what was it called? Magic.
Yeah.
It was part of Magic, and Richie was great. And he loved my gimmick because it's the first time they used a green screen was with me. Something else was first. Is I was the first person that they ever completely turned all the lights off in the building.
Really?
And they were I was the first. And they were so worried about it because they thought it could be a liability if somebody got hurt, somebody's fault. But I was the first person they ever completely turned all the lights off in the building. And that was me.
To give it that eerie ambiance,
They were behind it at first.
Can you reveal, without killing me, what it actually was that was coming down?
It was some type of black oil, probably grease paint oil that was all Richie.
Really?
That was all Richie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And again, here we are. People can say, oh, that was comedy, that was blah. But 29 years later,
start talking about
I have fans, that's what they want me to ask you about. I can ask, you don't have to answer, but I can literally ask you anything. And you can answer however you want. That's what they want me to ask you. So there you go.
I just did, I was in Cincinnati this past weekend and I was Papa Shango and I did a photo op for an hour as Papa Shango and everybody wants to know, how did that happen? Voodoo. It was voodoo. That was real. That was a real
Someday,
voodoo.
you know what? If they ever get you off that Legends contract, you're going to have to write a book.
Oh my
and
God.
Answer the question.
If I wrote a book, nobody would believe it.
And those are the best ones. That's what Percy would always say. The great book we could write, you can't put any of the stories.
I would get a lot of people in a lot of trouble.
Exactly. Well, you know what? That's what made the fraternity and the brotherhood so much fun back when it was a different world. When you were in it.
We were family. Not a business. Back then it was more family.
And that's what
now it's more business.
Really missing nowadays. But right now, fans, we got to get down to business. I got a cue from Captain Lou. We got to take a time out. We'll be right back with more Wrestling Insider Special Edition. Stand by.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now to Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. The World Wrestling Federation was live at Hannah Middle School in York, Pennsylvania, Thursday, February the 16th, 1984. In the opening contest, B. Brian Blair beat Charlie Fulton, replacing Eddie Gilbert. The Tonka Kid with the win over Israel Mattia. WWF Tag Team Champion Mr. USA Tony Atlas defeated Butcher Vachon. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff victorious over Salvatore Bellomo. And in the main event, Andre the Giant, WWF Tag Team Champions Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson, replacing Tito Santana and Jimmy Snuka, beat the Wild Samoans and Sergeant Slaughter via disqualification. If you were in York Live, share your memories in the comment section below. Keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our renowned Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Wrestling fans, the winter heats up with the return of the Berzerker John Nord. The WWE legend will be back for Wrestling Insider tapings, live episodes, watch-alongs, and cyber autograph signings beginning Sunday, February the 20th. Check out Boston Wrestling's exclusive exclusive print that the Berzerker will sign for you live on air. Get ready for 3 big days of the Berzerker John Nord. Head on over to BostonWrestling.com for complete information. Wrestling fans, we warned you this day would come. Unfortunately, we're running out of original episodes of Wrestling Insider's Party with Marty each and every Thursday night at 10 p.m., but we're starting up that Indiegogo. You can help the cause. You can help Marty's show continue each and every week. Nobody does it like Marty. We had an incredible time with him at our 20th anniversary bash, November 13th at Memorial Hall here in Melrose. We want to have the good times keep on rolling, but we can't do it without you. Look for the Indiegogo link in the comment section below or across our website and social media platforms. We have some great perks, great rewards where you can even meet Marty himself. There's nothing like it. Since July of 2020, every week we've brought you the show. We need your help to keep on going. We tell you, without wrestling fans, there is no professional wrestling, and there's no better time to help the cause now. Let's keep Marty rocking each and every Thursday night. At Night of Champions 2020, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns successfully defended the WWE Universal Championship against his cousin, Jey Uso, in a must-see battle. Here is your chance to own a piece of Roman Reigns moments before battle on this beautiful limited edition autographed 11x14 poster, direct from friends at WWE. It's number 19 of only 50 made. Includes WWE authentication hologram on the poster itself, suitable for framing and matting. You'll also receive a bonus Legends autographed 8x10 photo in an on-air shout-out on Wrestling Insiders as our thanks for helping keep Wrestling Legends working. Get this ultra-rare Roman Reigns autograph poster now.
Wrestling fans, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Dan Moradi with the Godfather. Now, before we continue our trip down memory lane, I do need to ask your opinion. As a man that knows Las Vegas, a man that ran a strip club, a man that knows his pimping. 21, 22, 23 years old in Las Vegas. You're at the MGM in room 211, and you have these two beautiful women inviting you to stay the night in the bed. And you just decide to leave and walk back to, of all places, the Gold Coast. I mean, what's going on here? There's something missing in the pimping. I don't think you'd be a fan of that.
How old?
21, 22, 23?
At 21, 22, I'd be a little embarrassed to have to admit that.
Yeah.
In Vegas, when you know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
How could you walk away from that?
Unless they weren't much to look at, that would be probably.
Well, that's why they make alcohol. You get free alcohol around here like water. I mean, really, you're not going to take advantage of that opportunity. You could tell that story. You wouldn't have to say what they look like. You could just tell the story.
I was humiliated.
I would have been too. So am I.
For him.
That's a lack of pimping.
I think he needs a good talking to.
I think he needs to go spend the night with me and hanging out with me at nighttime and hit some of these clubs.
You change his whole perspective.
He might not ever leave.
You might not want to. All right, wrestling fans, as we continue our trip down memory lane, what are we in, segment 2 or 3, Captain Loeb? Segment 2. June the 1st, we saw, I guess maybe the dark match debut of a guy that would certainly make a great impact on that company over the course of the next 4 years. A man you mentioned that you interacted with over in Germany. The bad guy, Razor Ramon. Your early memories of Razor in WWF?
For some reason, I remember him from WCW. They used to
Diamond
do.
Stud?
I don't know if this was before Diamond Stud.
Oh, really?
They used to film at the Showboat here in Vegas.
Oh, when he
back,
was
and this
that
is
was
like
AWA, though.
Yeah, this is
That
like
wasn't
80.
NWA,
Yeah, this is like 84, 85. So
he was just Big Scott Hall.
Yes,
Like
he was
Magnum,
just Big Scott Hall.
What was his name? That guy on TV. Magnum PI?
Brody, I think, was still around then.
Yeah.
And they filmed Adrian Adonis, and they would all work at Gold's Gym. And now this time I'm strong. I'm big and I'm strong.
Yeah.
So they say these wrestlers are down here. I'm like, I bet you I'm stronger. And I'd go down to the gym and see if I was stronger than them. And then somebody, it wasn't Scott, but somebody would get us tickets. And I had a crew of big guys, so we'd dress up. I think we were into George Thorogood back there and the Destroyers. So we called ourselves the Destroyers. We had tank tops and and or what do you call it, suspenders. And we would be out there messing with the wrestlers, and people, I mean, we were bigger than most of the wrestlers. But Scott was one of them.
You on the hard cam side.
They would mess with us,
Uh-huh.
but we used to have a good time. So I knew a lot of those guys' names, and because Scott was big back then. I mean, he was probably 330 and just chiseled. He was, like you said, look, the mark with the big mustache, he was big. And so, and he was strong.
And none of those guys ever came across you and tried to encourage you to break in?
No,
Really?
I didn't really hang out with him like that. I'd
Okay.
see him in the gym, but
Yeah.
I didn't really, I was just trying to see if I was stronger than them.
There you go.
Yeah.
You were more interested in that.
Yeah.
as
And
far
then
as
we'd ride our Harleys down there. We all rode Harleys, and they probably didn't know what to take of me.
They were probably worried that they didn't want to be shown up by you.
Yeah, they were probably like, I still mess with him too much. He's a little different.
All right, take us back to July the 1st, 1992. Dear Lord, something I don't think anyone expected in the year 1992, after an 8-year hiatus from the company, the return, if you talk about trying to develop superstars and a new generation, the return of white meat Bob Backlund. Almost the polar opposite of what they were trying to go with. Hell of a nice guy.
Hell of a nice guy. Could drink beer too.
He drank beer?
Oh, Bobby could drink
Yeah, I know
beer.
he likes his milk.
Yeah, he likes his beer too.
Really? All right.
Some of the worst matches I've ever had. And Chief J. Strongbow used to say, God bless you, Charles, you're trying. Some of the worst matches I ever had was me against Bob Backlund as Papa Shango. And having to take that little leg thing he used to do. Worst matches in history.
Moves.
Worst, because he really wasn't putting over the gimmick, and it was worst matches ever. But a good guy.
He only knew one way, and that was his Bob Backlund way. I'll say this, and I
Hey,
don't
he's
know.
a true shooter too.
Sure.
You didn't want to get out
No.
there and tangle with him too much because he'd stretch your ass out
Take
there.
that leg sweep.
Yeah, go ahead and take it. How do you take it?
I don't know how much where you were out of the industry at that point, but when he did that, Mr. Backlund, when they finally turned him heel,
Right.
those promos he would cut, oh my God, that was outstanding.
She was shooting.
How they took someone from that nobody cared about
Right.
in 92 and 93. I mean, there was just and not to knock him, but there was just little interest in seeing a 40-something-year-old Bob Backlund come out in his red tights, in his little circa 1963 bowling
Right.
jacket, and try and work with the new generation of guys. And it took that crazy heel turn. I remember at one point, maybe, should we ask it now or wait until we I'll ask it now for the heck of it. But I think there was a rumor around 94 that the reason that he went nuts was because Papa was going to come back and put a spell on him. Did you ever hear that?
I've heard that. I didn't hear nothing about that when I was there, but I have heard that from people. I'm like, I didn't know anything about
They
that.
never approached you.
They
about
never
it.
approached
Okay.
me with that ever. I've heard it from people though, more than once I've heard that.
Wouldn't that have been interesting?
If they would have, if somebody would have gave me some help trying to work with them,
Well, then if
I mean,
you
they were just two totally different gimmicks. And like I said, I wasn't Kamala. I wasn't so good at mine that I could work with Bob.
yeah.
And, so it was, they probably see some of those matches, and if they weren't thinking about it, squashed it. They said, no.
I knew he was a legend. He was done before I started watching. But
Right.
once I started seeing the matches, it was like, you rewound the watch to 1950.
They're good dude.
Nice human being, high quality
Good
human
guy.
being. But and I say even, again, we'll probably get into it if we continue the series into 95, but poor Kevin Nash is the new champion trying to get over, having to try and have matches with him as his first house show loop run. My God, they brought in, I remember Dick Murdoch just to have someone to try and take a bump, even if it was outside
Oh.
the ring.
Hard matches.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old school.
Old school.
I mean, that's going way back.
That was
So,
before they
yeah.
even had desks. It was so
I'm
old
sure
school.
people were like, oh, hell, I got to work with Bobby tonight. Oh.
Yeah.
But good guy.
Nice guy.
Nice
you
guy.
can't knock him as a human being. that's
No,
for
not
sure.
at all.
Not at all. How about this one? July 11th, after a year and a half, WWF tried to lay down the law to the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, New Jersey, because they let WCW in to run a house show. They finally made the big return to the arena, headlined by you and the Ultimate Warrior. And, you know, we talked about business being down at certain points. 12,500. That's a pretty good night, baby.
We had a few good nights.
That was a pretty good night. Any memories of a great venue like the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, or maybe even in your case, how you enjoyed the nightlife in certain areas? You're thinking.
Now I'm thinking about what we used to do.
Oh,
I mean, imagine every night we'd go to strip clubs. So whatever the strip club was in, what was it called? It wasn't called the Meadowlands. It was called, it wasn't Meadowlands, wasn't it? Or New Jersey.
In East Rutherford, New
East
Jersey?
Rutherford,
Yeah. Just a couple of miles away from MSG.
Just strip clubs. Good fans. But, I mean, our whole thing was strip clubs. I mean, that's where we found our peace.
It was a nice way to end the day.
Yeah,
Sleep on the plane the next day.
Me and Taker have been probably in every strip club in the United States. And I mean, it was strip clubs. And the guys, if you went to a normal club, people would bother you. But in strip clubs, the guys were there to see the girls.
Stay with the draw.
Yes. And so you might sign a couple autographs or something, but people didn't bother you because they were there to see the girls. And we loved that fact. And we were there to see the girls.
How often would Paul go?
Paul?
Yeah.
He'd show up a lot. He wasn't a regular. Paul would, oh, yeah, someone want to go tonight, Papa. He'd go every now and then, but that wasn't his thing.
He always liked the meals.
Yeah.
He was looking for a good place to eat more than anything.
And most back then, I don't know if it's like that now, but back then almost all the places had food.
Yeah.
So you could get a meal there. So
Yeah.
Paul, he would every now and then.
So
Paul called me
Pappy.
Pappy. He called me Pappy. What's up,
Is
Pappy?
that what he called you,
Pappy.
Pappy? I
Pappy.
don't remember him ever utilizing a nickname like that. But we're getting the cue from the back. Right now, fans, we're going to take a brief time out. We're back to wrap up the show. Stand by.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now to Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. The World Wrestling Federation was live at the Wheeling Civic Center in Wheeling, West Virginia, Friday, February the 16th, 1990. In the opening contest, Greg the Hammer Valentine beat Sam Houston. Bret Hitman Hart with the win over the Genius. Bob Bradley defeated Jim Powers. Hacksaw Jim Duggan victorious over Mr. Perfect. The Bushwhackers beat the Bolsheviks. The Red Rooster with the win over the Black Knight. And in the main event, Dusty Rhodes defeated Macho King Randy Savage via countout. If you were in Wheeling live, share your memories in the comment section below. Use the links in the description box to keep Wrestling Legends working in our eBay store and on our acclaimed Patreon streaming service so we can bring you more interactive superstar shoot interviews to relive the good old days of professional wrestling. Check it out.
It hits different live as the road to WrestleMania comes through State College with the head of the table, Roman Reigns. And a new challenger has emerged to dethrone the Queen.
Face me and put your title on the line.
As Naomi battles Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It's the WWE Road to WrestleMania Tour, live in State College, March 26th. Tickets and Superstar Experience packages on sale now.
Wrestling fans, VIP packages and tickets are on sale now at the Boston Wrestling MWF's Back to the 80s live wrestling event and Legends Fan Fest celebration, Saturday night, April the 16th at Memorial Hall in Melrose, Mass. Meet WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, three-time WWE Tag Team Champions Axe and Smash Demolition, WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, the Wild Berzerker, Dangerous Danny Davis, and more 80s icons to be announced. Take part in a VIP exclusive Q&A session, a VIP exclusive 80s Legends group photo, an autograph photo fan fest open to all before the superstars and legends of yesterday, today, and tomorrow light up the ring like Times Square on New Year's Eve. Relive your childhood. Get the best seats in the house now at bostonwrestling.com. We'll see you live April the 16th. Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And this is the man of the hour, Leo Rush.
It's all over bostonwrestling.com and our social media. But Leo, brother, they got to check out some of this merch.
They got to.
Check it out, fans, right now available on eBay. You can add this to your collection.
Support Wrestling Insiders and keep wrestling legends working on eBay. Get this WWE NXT TakeOver War Games 2020 11x14 limited edition autograph poster signed by everyone on the event, number 23 of only 100 made. Includes signatures from the Undisputed Era, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Tommaso Ciampa, Timothy Thatcher, Io Shirai, Tony Storm, Rhea Ripley, Dexter, Loomis, and more. Comes with authentication hologram on the back of the poster. Also comes with mystery autographed 8x10 and an on-air shout-out from WWE Hall of Famer Mr. USA Tony Atlas on Wrestling Insiders at your house. Get it now.
Wrestling fans around the corner, around the world, welcome back to Wrestling Insiders. Dan Marati and the fun-loving Godfather. We've been having a lot of fun, even though we're going back to his dark days as a voodoo man, but nonetheless, interesting stories nonetheless. What about Konnan? He was a guy that WWF tried to come up with a lot of different characters for.
Right.
I know they invested a lot of money into that Max Moon character.
Wow.
I thought was going to be something monumental for them, which really turned into nothing, but it extended Paul Diamond a little bit. But do you remember Konnan being at all these different TV tapes?
Yes, but I never hung out
No
with him.
really interactions with him?
No, never really got to know him.
Well, as someone that was so over, I remember being told back in the day he was over like a movie star in Mexico. He was so
In Mexico,
strong,
but not here.
In the United States, no, it just never clicked. I wonder if WWF kept that against him, that they spent all that money to try and make
They did that with a lot of people. I mean, back then, they at first they would push it, and then they'd back off of it right away, or maybe. But I mean, everybody got a little bit of a push.
Well, they did try and push it a little with Paul Diamond as Max, but I know they created it specifically.
Paul had a lot of
for
heat.
Konnan.
He had a lot of heat there.
Paul did?
Yeah.
Or what was that?
I'm not gonna get into that why, but
Oh wait, was that the Tatanka story?
yeah, he had a little bit
I know
of
what
heat
you
there.
mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
That's funny you know that.
What's that?
It's funny you know that.
Well, we've done a lot of interviews. What about two guys, at least one of which you'd go on to become very, very good friends with? The debut of Samu Fatu, the Headshrinkers. Early memories before you became tight with them.
Early memories. Cool. People that I liked. It was him, Yoko, Sammy, him, and we just gelled right away. And from music to we're both from the West Coast. I knew about that family. I mean, because even if you didn't watch wrestling, you knew the Alpha and Sika. You knew who they were. And they were cool. And they were good people. They were stand-up people. If you got into a fight, they would definitely be there.
Good people to have on your side.
Really good people to have on your side. It was just funny. I traveled so much with Yoko and Fat Jr. and man, that whole I've been to more than one funeral with those guys, which is sad, but just a great family, great people. I talked to Kishi. Well, we text each other or social
Everyone's
media.
just talking, but it's not typing.
Yeah, but I'm still in communication with Kishi a lot. He gets me bookings, I get him bookings.
Oh, so
we're
that's
still
nice.
really good friends.
Were you more tight with Junior than you were Sam?
Yeah.
Because maybe Sam wasn't around as long.
Sam wasn't around as long.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was, and Sam kind of did his own. He wasn't around as long when I was there. It was Junior and Yoko.
And funny, WWE made one of their rare slips on television. I remember as the Headshrinkers debuted, Gorilla Monsoon was pushing all of his fans. If you think this is something, we have a 450-pound Samoan coming our way. And he didn't quite turn out to be a 450-pound Samoan. In reality, maybe, but definitely not in his televised persona. But I know they even went to the extent of having Alpha try and do promos with him as Coquina at TV tapings, but somewhere in some creative meeting might have said, you know what, that's a sumo, not a Samoan. And you know what, look at the great magic that he created as Yoko. Who knows, it might have been the greatest thing that ever happened.
Oh,
that
man.
They presented him as a sumo wrestler.
He did a great job.
I wouldn't have known he was Samoan.
Most people did.
Yeah.
He's probably more black than Samoan. A lot of people don't know that he's a rapper.
Yoko?
Oh man, Yoko could rap, kind of like the Booyah Trap type of thing. Because when I met Yoko, I'm listening to country music, and he's listening to rap, and so there's a whole story to that that's pretty funny. But yeah, he was one of the people to get me to start listening to rap. I used to listen to Hank Williams Jr. was my favorite, and so I used to chew tobacco. Mm-hmm. So I think it was Yoko over here, I'm here, Taker, Paul Bearer might have been in the car. So I'm driving, right?
Percy must have been thrilled with that.
Oh, that's why Percy liked me. I love, he was a big George Jones guy. You know that.
Oh, yeah.
And so Percy dug the fact that I knew so many country songs. Anything in the 80s, from 79 to 89, that's all I listened to was country. So long story short, I'm listening to Hank Jr. and Yoko sitting over here. And back then we had cassettes. We rented Lincoln Continentals and Cadillacs.
Cassettes,
and so I'm singing and spitting my tobacco, and he looks at me, looks at the tape, looks at me, looks at the tape, puts the window down, ejects the tape, throws it out the window. And I'm like, dude, what the hell would you do that for? And he said, hey, mofo, anybody ever tell you black? And I'm like, what? Listen to that hillbilly stuff for, And then we start listening to DJ Quick, and I think the West Side Connection album just came out. But yeah, man, Yoko was a great guy.
Well, and another one that left us way too soon. Way too soon. Yoko, yeah. I mean, just.
I was on tour with him. We all were coming back from the Hulk Hogan tour in Australia. And I just came home. I flew home. I went to Cheetahs the next morning. When I just got home, I went to Cheetahs.
Oh, the Hogan farewell tour in the summer of '93. Yeah, those were his last matches from those decades. Yeah.
He was like a little kid on the plane home. Britney Spears was on there. He was like love struck with her. And,
Yoko?
No, Amaga.
Hogan?
Amaga.
Oh, Amaga. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh.
About deaths in the family.
Right. Just the family.
And I went to Cheetahs, and Junior called me. He's like, they called him Amaga Icky.
Icky, because I knew that because I think he lived next door to Shelton.
Yeah.
In Houston, yeah.
They called him Icky, and he's like, bro, Icky just passed away this morning. And I'm like, what do you mean Icky just passed? Dude, we were just on the plane last night. What are you talking about? Yeah, so as soon as he got back, he passed that morning, which was sad.
That family has had a lot of tragedy.
Yes.
And they're good people.
Very good people.
As far as
Rosie, all of them, just good people.
Yeah, Rosie's another one.
Another good guy.
He was when he passed. I wonder what by the time this airs, it may be old news, but they just had, I know Junior was putting out on social media, a young niece that was killed.
I think that was in San Francisco. She was murdered.
Wow.
This crazy world, brother. Crazy world we live in.
And it's not just ours, believe it or not. It's crazy that goes on outside of the wrestling bubble. But wrestling fans, we're running out of time here. We're getting set up to do a little Paul Bearer holiday headlocks magic. We appreciate you tuning in this week. Again, I'll get the Chiefs plugs in as quick as I can. Chat away. Let us know what you think of this episode. All the great 1992 talk we've had. The super chat button is open for business if you want to help us keep the lights on and have more great talk shows like this. A thumbs up would go a long way. I don't think the two girls at MGM and 211 gave him a thumbs up.
They might be double thumbs down.
And they're not going to subscribe to his channel like they are hopefully going to do for us. If you want early ad-free access to these great shows and to help keep Wrestling Legends working, head on over to patreon.com/Boston Wrestling and help us keep the memory alive of, this is Santa Claus, not Paul Bearer, but help us keep Paul Bearer's memory alive through our annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy Drive. For the Godfather of Nailz, we'll see you in the near future sometime soon. Stay healthy, be well. Good night from Las Vegas.
Hi, this is Phil DeCesare. Thank you for enjoying tonight's Wrestling Insiders. Get early full-screen ad-free access to all our Weeknight Wrestling Insider episodes while helping keep Wrestling Legends working by joining the Boston Wrestling Patreon family at patreon.com/Boston Wrestling. You can directly help us bring you more great historical wrestling content 7 days a week to enjoy for years to come.